Good morning, boys and girls. You know what? We haven't done this in a while. I used to do this every Monday morning, if you remember, when we were in our homerooms and we didn't have morning recess. So I've missed my screen time with you, although I do prefer the face-to-face time. So welcome back. First of all, I hope you guys enjoyed your little mini break. We definitely have been busy here at Southside as far as staff in your absence while you've been out enjoying your break. We have been busy with workshop days. We have been busy with a night of parent-teacher conferences. And we have had a little incident in the building that I'm sure you heard of. It was one of the reasons why we had to cancel parent-teacher conferences Thursday night. But we had a little bit of a fire in the building. It was a very small fire. It was contained in the very small technology or computer closet upstairs, right next door to Mrs. Glidden's space upstairs. And it was quickly extinguished, but as you can imagine, all of that water from the sprinkler system that kicked in to extinguish the fire caused some damage. And it's the same type of damage that we had in the building earlier this winter when we had busted pipes, if you remember, where there was a day that you couldn't come back to school because the pipes froze, they busted, and we had quite a bit of water in the building. So it's mostly water damage. You will notice that there's a couple of areas in the building that are kind of shut off because of the water damage. And now those areas are basically Mrs. Glidden's space for speech. So if you go to Mrs. Glidden for speech services, she is actually going to be working with you in other areas of the building. She'll be having her supplies and her materials on a little rolling cart. She will come pick you up from your classrooms and bring you to her new workspace for this week so she can still meet with you and you guys can still work together. That will be worked out. And as of right now, the library is kind of shut down for the week. Miss Lawler is still going to be able to meet with you guys for library. She's just going to come to you in your classrooms, kind of very similar to what we used to do when we had no technology lab. And Mrs. Wright or Mrs. Beck, when she was filling in for our computer teacher, used to come into your classrooms. So Miss Lawler is going to come to you to do your library lesson for this week. And we will go from there. Other than that, everything is up and going and running smooth. And they're working on the damage and getting the water dried up and things back to normal in those two areas. So you will notice probably when you go upstairs to the bathroom, basically that Mrs. Glidden's door is kind of like taped off. It's blocked off. But they're working in there is the reason why. Everybody here is perfectly safe. So we are good to go with that. So we're glad that you're back. One of the things that I wanted to take this time with you guys during your SEL block this morning is to talk to you about this. And I'm sure I've already touched base with this with the fifth graders when we had our little mini assembly before you left us last week. And I'm sure some of you guys have seen this. Maybe you can see it. This is what we call an SDR. It's a student discipline report. And it's something that all staff in the building are using. That means your teachers are using it. Your specialist teachers are using it. The teachers and ed techs that are on duties in the cafeteria at lunchtime or out at recess are using it. It can be used in all areas of your school day. Hallway, everywhere. Actually, right on here, there's places right here. Actually, let me shift the camera around so you see it better. But location, like playground, cafeteria, hallway, classroom, library, even in the bathroom, and arrival and dismissal time, whether that's out front waiting for a bus or in the cafeteria waiting for a ride to come pick you up. So it's a Southside Student Discipline Report. And other than the location, there's a place here where the teacher or staff member will fill it out if you are making poor choices. And we can talk a little bit more about what those poor choices may look like. But up here is your name, date, teacher, your homeroom teacher, what grade you're in, and this is the adult in the building, the staff member that is writing it out. So you can be written up, so to speak, on this discipline report form for minor problems and for major problems. So let's go down through the minor column first. Inappropriate language. Obviously, you guys know that inappropriate language would be any type of profanity or swearing or any type of inappropriate words that you are speaking, either out loud when you're frustrated or angry, or if you're saying them to another person. Okay? Physical contact. You guys know that we have a no hands policy, so no hands on. So that obviously is physical contact, and that can be in any, like again, areas of your school day, right? Insubordination, that's a pretty big word. So let me explain that. Insubordination is when you're refusing to do something that is asked of you. So we have adults in the room, and they ask you respectfully to do something or follow a direction, and if you just refuse because you don't want to do it, but you refuse, that's called insubordination. So obviously, with our PBIS statement, that would be a sign of disrespect. So if you're being insubordinate and refusing to do something, you're being disrespectful. And look, what do you know? The next one, disrespect. You guys know what disrespect looks like. You know what it looks like to be respectful in all areas of the building, as we have talked about that in our behavior matrix, Student Expectations Day at the beginning of the year. And those are always being retaught in certain areas of the building and within your classroom. Electronic violation, minor. Minor means small. And even though it's small, it doesn't mean that it's appropriate. Electronic violation would mean that you're using your laptop and going to, say, a site or not doing what you're supposed to be doing on your laptop or your device here at school. Okay. Disruption. Obviously, if you're a disruption, you are doing something to disrupt everybody and their learning. Dishonesty, you guys know what it means to be honest, as that's part of our code of conduct. Dress code, minor. Here at Southside and within the district, so every building in the district, we have a dress code. Obviously, you can't wear shirts that have any type of inappropriate language, profanity, anything pertaining to alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, that type of thing. And obviously, it's got to be clothing that is appropriate for school, that it's covering body parts, and obviously being responsible and appropriate. So that's a minor. We also have, if you notice over here, a major, which I'll talk about here in a couple minutes. Property misuse. This would be under, like, if you're one of those ones that have been doing any type of graffiti on the wall in the bathroom. If you're writing on a desk in your classroom, if you're ripping a page in a book or your library book, if you are misusing your computer, banging it, slamming it around, not using it appropriately, that could definitely fall under property misuse or electronic violation minor, or maybe even a major over in the next column, okay? Or there's a space here for other. So if there's something that comes up that a staff member feels that's inappropriate or should be documented with a discipline report, they can certainly write it here if it's not already listed here, okay? Now, major problems, abusive language. Well, you might say that might be the same thing as inappropriate language, but abusive language is very, very vulgar language. It's abusive. It's harassing. That could be like if you were making fun of someone and calling them names that were inappropriate, and it almost fell under harassment or bullying. That's abusive, okay? It's a little bit more major than inappropriate, even though this is obviously not a good thing, but this is pushing it to the next level, okay? Fighting and physical aggression. So if you're frustrated and angry and you are tackling or pushing down or punching, that would be under fighting and physical aggression. Physical contact is more like horseplay, horsing around, fooling around, thinking it's funny, okay? Or touching someone when obviously you're invading their space. Fighting is more if you're frustrated and you're angry and you're taking it out on someone to get back at them, okay? Overt insubordination. So there's that big word again, insubordination. Remember, refusing to do what's being asked of you? Overt means that you are just rude. So let me give you an example. Teacher asks you to do something and you just start slamming the table, refusing, kicking the chair, swearing at the teacher, and walking out of the room. Obviously, that would be counted as overt insubordination. Okay? Harassment and bullying. You guys know harassment, obviously, is when you are making fun of someone because of their gender. Okay? Or you're making fun of them because of their religion or their beliefs. Okay? That would fall under harassment. Bullying, you guys know is bullying, but I'm going to take this moment to explain quickly what bullying is and what bullying is not. Bullying is a repeated behavior over and over again, targeting a certain person. So if someone is just calling you a name, it's like the first time they've done it. It's not something that they do all the time, every day. That's just being unkind. But if they're targeting you and they're doing it every single day, nonstop, then that's bullying. And boys and girls, we take that very seriously here at Southside. We actually have a bullying team. We lead an investigation. We bring parents into it. And if we have to, we even bring law enforcement into it, which means the police. Okay? Electronic violation major. So if you're doing something very inappropriate, like inappropriate searches on your computer, or you're throwing your computer, that would definitely be a major electronic violation. Vandalism. Again, that's ruining things. If you are purposely, breaking a window or breaking school property and not just, misusing it or disrespecting it. Okay. Cheating. You guys know what cheating is. Obviously, comes with strict consequences. Dress code major. Dress code major, obviously a minor would be something that a teacher can take care of in a classroom. They might ask you to turn your shirt inside out. They might ask you that, we have clothes here available in the office. If you can go to the office and get something different, we might ask you to even call home to have a parent or an adult at home bring something for you to wear instead of the piece of clothing that is not following dress code, okay? A dress code major would be something like completely blatant, that you're purposely doing it to get attention and to purposely break the dress code. And if you refuse to do what is asked, then that is referred to the office under a major, and we'll deal with it at the office level. Inappropriate displays of affection. Obviously, we don't allow hugging or kissing or any types of those. Hands to yourself and respect other people's spaces and being appropriate at all times. Use and possession of a controlled substance, so that would fall under drugs, weapons, and another space for other, okay? So in this section over here is for your staff member, person that's writing you up. It basically tracks us kind of like a why. Why did you do this or this? We always like to look for the cause of the problem or the root of the problem of why you did it. Did you do it to get someone else's attention, like another student's attention or adult attention? Different things there. And then others involved in the incident. So obviously, if it was other students, if it was a staff or teacher, substitute, other, it's a place for comments that the staff member can write in. Classroom consequence. So you may get a consequence. It might be reteaching. It might be loss of some privileges. Okay. If it's something in the minor section, then obviously a teacher or staff member is going to take care of it. If it falls under the major, then it's an automatic office referral that comes to me. And that's when I have to, or you need to talk to me, or the administrator, even Mr. Davis, if he's filling in my absence. And then this is a section that I fill out here. And if you notice, pretty important part of the form is a parent signature. So this will be sent home to sign. It'll be your responsibility to take home. It's up to the staff member or the teacher whether this gets sent home for a signature or it warrants a phone call. And sometimes it might not be either for right now, but they will be put for documentation. So the teacher will keep it in the room for documentation to see if there's any patterns going on. Like if you are to the point where you're, dress code minor, and it doesn't just happen once, but it happens a second time, and it happens a third time, then obviously we are definitely involving the parents. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. But like I said, this can happen in all areas of your school day. And then, of course, we have the bus discipline reports that we get from the bus drivers and Mr. Casillas, which is separate from this. But we have record of that, too, here in the office because those get turned into me at the principal level. As some of you may know, because you've been written up and you've come to visit me in the office. So hopefully, turn it around. That is a quick explanation of what those are for. Hopefully your goal is not to get one of these. That's your goal. If you're not getting these, then you are following the code of conduct appropriately every single day and the expectations that we have here at Southside. Okay? And you're following our PBIS school statement. Okay? That's what we like to see. We do not like to see these. Okay? And even if you're getting written up for a minor, even though the slip may not come to me, the teachers are communicating to me. So even if it's not coming my way, I know what's going on. I know what you're doing or not doing. Okay? So my advice to you, obviously, is to self-check. Be aware of yourself. Make good choices. You're the only one responsible and in charge of you. Nobody else. I know at times I have kids that come in and like, well, so-and-so dared me. They may have dared you, which is not right. It's not being a good friend. It's not being kind. But however, the main thing is you get down to it, you're making the choices. It's completely up to you, nobody else. So, again, be respectful, be safe, be responsible in all areas of your school day. Other than that, I just want to take that time to explain it to you. I wanted you guys aware, so it's not just something that you received and you don't fully understand why you're getting it. And it's a good way for us to involve parents. We like to have that parent contact and communication because they are your parents. They are in charge of you. They need to know what you're doing here at school, good or bad. And that's our responsibility as a staff to be able to keep those lines of communication open to your parents as well. And to you. So, with that being said, I won't take any more of your time so you guys can enjoy the rest of your SEL block with your teachers. I hope everyone has a good week. We are almost to the end of March, believe it or not. So that is a good thing. Your teachers also have a survey link if they haven't already sent it to you in your email. You get to choose, I believe, 1 of 5 choices. Vote one. One choice out of the 5 for your whole school bingo reward for our PBS system. Okay? And then we'll go from there. All right, everyone. Have a great week. Over and out.